morning. Thank you very much for joining me here today. My name is Rory Munro. I'm one of the NetSuite Solution Consultants here at Eureka, and I'm delighted to be hosting today's webinar, which is an introduction to NetSuite Starter Edition. Just before we get started, a quick agenda for what we can expect on the session today. We'll start off with a little bit about NetSuite, whether you've heard of NetSuite before, used it in the past, or are completely brand new. We'll give you a bit of an overview and let you know why this is one of the key solutions that we at Eureka work with. We'll then start to talk about some of the benefits and functionalities of NetSuite as a solution, why we propose Starter Edition if you're a small to medium enterprise looking for potentially your first ERP solution, or you're maybe moving off of a smaller application such as Xero, QuickBooks, Sage 50, the list goes on. We'll then cover off a live demonstration of the system today. It will be a NetSuite Starter Edition that we're looking at, so you'll get to see all of the out-of-the-box functionality, all the things you can expect from a really quick implementation, but really building on that core NetSuite platform, as we'll discuss as we go through the session today. We'll then talk a little bit about Eureka Solutions and our experience as an implementation partner for NetSuite and what we can bring with our knowledge and experience. And then finally, we'll have an opportunity at the end for questions and answers. So if you do have any questions during the session, please feel free to pop them in the Q&A chat box, which should be available to you, and I will make sure to cover off any questions at the end of the session. And just before we start, it's worth mentioning too that if you do want someone to reach out to you after the session today to discuss a more tailored demonstration, or if you'd like to look at any pricing options for the NetSuite Starter Edition, then you can pop a wee chat in the box, or you can reach out to us at sales@eurekasolutions.co.uk via email, and a member of the team will be more than happy to reach out. So we'll get into today's session, starting with a little bit about NetSuite. So NetSuite is commonly known as the world's #1 cloud ERP system. Now, one of the reasons that it's known as the #1 cloud ERP system is that it was actually the first. It was formed in 1998 as NetLedger by Evan Goldberg, who's still with the organization today, and was very much built in the cloud. So not an on-premise solution which has been transitioned to the cloud, but very much built around that cloud infrastructure. Now, NetSuite delivers real-time business insights from anywhere at any time. You'll see from the demonstration today, all you need is a Wi-Fi or a 4G connection and access to a browser, and you will have access to your system, whether that's on a laptop, a tablet, or a mobile device. NetSuite has a very, very global reach. So with over 43,000 customers worldwide, these are the number of customers that are actually using the platform already, so very much tried and tested. And you'll see there that spans across over 200 countries. As we mentioned, it is born in the cloud, built for modern businesses. NetSuite's aiming to eliminate that kind of infrastructure of costs and complexity with a rapid time to implementation, making small to medium businesses able to implement a system which works for you and can adhere to your ambitious growth ambitions as well. You also benefit from automatic upgrades. So twice a year, NetSuite bring you the latest functionality. As you can imagine, there is a lot around AI functionality these days, which is absolutely fantastic, and our existing customers are gaining a big benefit from that. The nice thing about the automatic upgrades, there's no additional cost. NetSuite wants to make sure that all of its customers is on the same platform and that everyone's getting the benefit of the solution. Just a quick one in terms of NetSuite functionality. So we'll be focusing on NetSuite Starter Edition today, which is really a really good platform and an entry into NetSuite with some of that kind of more core functionality, but you can build that out over time to ensure that NetSuite is a platform for scalability and that you can keep this in the long term as your business grows. Now, one of the key things about NetSuite is that it is a single data source. So no matter what you add on to this, if you start off with your ERP financials, maybe starting to bring in things like CRM, e-commerce, advanced inventory, project management, human resources, etc., etc., they are all on the one single data source. So no more multiple data sources, siloed data, complex reporting to get that out, potentially taking that out things like Excel. It is now all housed within the same platform, which means that the data is live, it's available to everyone real time across the business, and you get much more dynamic reporting from that as well. And hopefully you'll find from that you'll be making more data-driven decisions within your organization. Again, branching out, we'd mentioned that NetSuite's available across over 200 countries. So with that, we have functionality like multi-language, multi-currency, multi-country tax compliance, and also multi-subsidiary management as well. So whether you are in multiple jurisdictions just now, or whether that's something that is a long-term goal or ambition for the business, then NetSuite is going to be able to handle that for you going forward, and you're not going to need to move on to a bigger solution or a more comprehensive solution. You'll also notice towards the middle top right there, Suite App Partners. So NetSuite also has a Suite App infrastructure so that companies can create and develop their own applications which sit within NetSuite. So things like payroll or the OCR for your invoice scan and capture for your supplier bills. This is allowing the system to be developed and worked upon by third-party developers, all of whom are part of the program, and all the solutions are rigorously tested and proven. But what this means is that you're getting a lot more benefit as well. So it's not just what NetSuite are developing for the platform, but also what these third-party developers are as well. And we at Eureka's actually have one of our own Suite apps there as well. So before we dive into the product itself, I want to quickly level set on why we think NetSuite Starter Editions are resonating so strongly with a lot of growing businesses today. So the first key benefit that we have identified is fast deployment. These starter editions are built on NetSuite's Suite Success methodology, meaning that they actually come with a lot of pre-configured leading practices, dashboards, reports, KPIs and workflows, and these are already in place and available for use, and you'll see some of that in the demonstration that we'll get onto very shortly. So rather than starting from scratch, businesses like yours can get live very quickly with the solution and begin seeing value from your money a lot sooner than maybe traditional deployments of ERPs, which can take a lot of time, have hidden costs and added complexities. The Suite Success methodology is very much built on all of those 43,000 customers that NetSuite have worldwide, taking all the wins from those and the important things to the customer, ensuring that that is all out of the box and available from day one. Secondly, we have cost-effective entry. So Starter Edition is designed to provide an accessible entry point to this true cloud ERP platform. So businesses are benefiting from enterprise-grade functionality without the complexity, cost, or as we'd mentioned, that lengthy implementation, which is typically associated with larger ERP projects. The third benefit we've identified is that it's built for growth. So a lot of businesses begin with immediate operational challenges. Maybe it's to do with your finance, your inventory, maybe even project management, but over time, their requirements evolve. So the beauty of what NetSuite's doing with Starter Edition is that you can start with what you need today, but you can expand into additional capabilities as your business scales, all within the same platform. So as we've mentioned, no more data silos. Next is that real-time visibility. So because NetSuite unifies its data across departments into a single system, leadership teams can gain instant visibility into things like financials, operations, sales, inventory, products, and overall business performance as well. That means that you're going to get much better reporting, as we'd mentioned, better decision making, which is based on data and facts, and less reliance on spreadsheets and those disconnected systems. And finally, we have simplified ERP adoption. So one of the biggest concerns that we hear from businesses is around complexity. The starter editions are specifically designed to simplify that journey through those pre-built roles, guided processes, and structured implementation approaches, which helps teams adopt the system faster and with less disruption. So another key concern we hear is, okay, we'll put that system in, but how do we get our users to adopt and start using the system? And that's where NetSuite Starter Edition has that at the forefront. So overall, the Starter Editions are really about helping businesses grow and modernise quickly, gain visibility, and build a scalable platform for the future. So in this slide, I'm just going to focus on who NetSuite Starter Edition is really designed for. So these are just a few examples. They're not exhaustive at all, but just a few of the ones that we see most commonly. So the first type of organisation that we see quite a lot is growing product-based businesses. So companies that might be managing inventory, fulfillments, purchases, and customer orders that are beginning to outgrow those spreadsheets or some of those smaller accounting systems that we mentioned earlier. Typically, we find these businesses are reaching a stage where they need better visibility across things like stock, purchasing, sales, and finance, but they want it all within that single platform so that the data is consistent. Starter Edition gives them that operational control while remaining quick to deploy and cost effective compared to other solutions. The second that we see is maybe a scaling service organisation. So this could be consultancies, IT services companies, agencies, or maybe other project-driven businesses that need stronger visibility into project delivery and profitability. For these organisations, the value comes mostly from bringing together project management, resource tracking, time and expense capture, project billing, and financial reporting all under that one system. Instead of juggling those multiple disconnected tools with no consistency, everything's going to operate from that single source of the truth. And finally, we have ambitious small to medium enterprises that are preparing for growth. So these businesses that may not yet require the highly advanced ERP functionality today, but they've recognised the importance of putting the right platform in place early. What makes Starter Edition particularly attractive here is that businesses can start with that core functionality that they need right now, while knowing that they've chosen a platform that can scale with them over time. So whether that means adding on things like advanced inventory, e-commerce, international subsidiaries, planning tools, etc., we can add that on as time goes on, but we have a platform that is built to grow with our business. So ultimately what we're trying to get across here is that Starter Edition is ideal for businesses that are looking to modernise their operations, gain enhanced visibility, and create that scalable foundation for growth without having to take on the complexity of a traditional ERP implementation. Okay, so now that we've looked at who Starter Edition is best suited for, I want to just look at the different Starter Edition pathways and the functionality that each one of these brings to the table. So starting with the Starter ERP, which is what our demo environment for today is, this is really the core operational and financial foundation. So it provides businesses with the essential ERP capabilities that most businesses need. So things like financial management, CRM, sales, purchasing, reporting, even order management. It's ideal for organizations that are maybe looking to move away from those disconnected systems and gain that single source of the truth. Next, just below that, we have our starter for products businesses as well. So this is specifically designed for organizations that need inventory and product-based capabilities within the system. So in addition to that ERP functionality, those core financials, this introduces inventory management, purchasing, fulfillment, and supply chain visibility. It's particularly valuable for businesses that are perhaps wholesalers, distributors, e-commerce businesses, or any company really that's managing physical stock and customer fulfillments. Moving over to the services side, we have Starter Services. This edition is tailored for project and service-led organisations, such as those consultancies, agencies, IT service providers that we mentioned before. It looks to combine that financial management with project management, resource planning, time tracking, the capturing of expenses, and project billing as well. So this is going to help businesses gain much stronger visibility into actual project performance and profitability. And finally, we have Starter Social Impact. So this is designed for the likes of charities and mission-driven organizations. This edition supports strong financial governance, operational efficiency, reporting, and scalable growth, while helping organizations remain aligned to their wider social impact objectives. So an important thing to note is that all of these editions are built on the same NetSuite platform, and they all use that suite success methodology that we talked about in terms of the quick time to value. So that means businesses can start with any edition that's most relevant to their needs as of today, while knowing that you have the flexibility to expand that functionality over time as your business grows. Okie dokie. So thanks for listening to me going through some slides. We will come back to talk a little bit about Eureka and what we offer, but we'll now jump into the live demonstration aspect of today. So what we have here is our sign-in page. Now, I mentioned earlier on that NetSuite can be accessed anytime, anywhere. All you need to have is access to a browser and an internet connection. You'll see here that I'm just using the conventional Google. Now, what we can also have here, as well as the conventional email address and password sign-in, we do also support single sign-on and multi-factor authentication as well. So if you want those advanced levels of security, those are standard features with NetSuite. As we sign into the platform here, we're greeted with our home dashboard or landing page, as we might call it. And this is really, the forefront of what your users will get when they sign in. So a lot of information being pulled through here to them. We're currently signed in as Carol Morgan, who is our financial controller, but you will see as we hover over that we have a drop down of other out-of-the-box role templates here. So in your organization, you will of course have administrators. NetSuite is a very easy to use system, so you will have members of your organization that are able to have administrative capabilities to make tweaks and ensure that the system works for you as time goes on. You can also have access to the Employee Center, so a more cost-effective license type that allows you to roll that out to specific members of the team that maybe aren't those core financial users, but need capabilities such as raising a purchase request or even raising expense reports as well. You can see some of the other standard out-of-the-box roles that we have too. So we have our CEO, our finance controller, we have our inventory manager, a purchasing and a sales as well. So NetSuite is all about having these predefined roles which can restrict and control the access, visibility, and level of permissions that a particular user has in the system. It can also be used just to merely focus people's attention, make sure that they're seeing the most relevant data within the system. But of course, it can be used to ensure that private information such as maybe payroll, employee records, etc., can be restricted based on who should be able to see that. And what we can have in the system here as well, out of the box, is those customized dashboards for each of our employees as well. So the inventory manager will of course have a very different product-led dashboard compared to the likes of finance. But for today, we'll stick in finance and we'll show you around this dashboard. So at the very top here, we have our global search bar. Now this can be used like whatever your favorite browser is, say for instance Google, and as long as I, as Carol Morgan, the finance controller, have access and visibility to what's in the system, then I'll be able to search for it here. So that could be used for things like specific transactions, employee records, customer records, supplier records, etc., and it will take me directly to that. What we can also do is put in custom prefixes to filter down that data. So if I wanted to look for a specific supplier record, I could put in the first few letters of that as a prefix, and I can start typing in the supplier, and we'll see that it can take me directly to that record. In these records within NetSuite, be it an employee, customer, supplier, all of the relevant data for that, billing information, addresses, contacts, etc., can all be stored on there, and that is our single point of the truth across everyone in the system. On the left here, we can see our recent records. So if you've recently been in an invoice, a supplier record, customer record, you can easily jump back in, and you can even go in to edit that record as well if you have the permissions to do so. We have our favourites, our shortcuts here. So if there's anything that you're typically going into, maybe on a daily or a weekly basis, specific reports, creating new transactions such as journals, invoices, etc., then we can have a quick navigation for you there. Our home icon can bring us back to this dashboard at any point in the session. And we have our conventional drop-down menu structure here as well. Now, under the reports, you'll see that we have a large number of out-of-the-box reports. I think with any given Starter Edition, you're looking at about 150 reports out of the box. And you can see under the financial tab that we have a lot of those common ones here. Your profit and loss, comparative P&L, balance sheets, trial balances, etc., etc. Now, just to talk you around the dashboard quickly, on the left here, we have a reminders portlet. So NetSuite is built on automation, making sure that workflows are being adhered to and that everyone knows exactly where in the system that they should be going at any given time. So that can be used for things like approval workflows. Here you'll see we have purchase requests to approve. It's hyperlinked, so if I was to click on that, it would take me directly to the transaction that needs to be approved. We also have things like sales orders that need to be invoiced, potentially bills that need to be approved. We can have triggers or alerts for things like overdue invoices. We can also have what's called saved searches, so looking at specific criteria within the system. For instance, in this one, we're looking at invoices which are over 30 days and are for a high nominal value at 50k. So I'm immediately alerted that we have an invoice that's due, which has been due for quite a while now, and that's maybe a trigger for me to chase that up with the customer. Moving around the dashboard, we have quick navigational tiles taking us into different reports here. We have on the top right a KPI meter taking me through a live real-time view of our payables. If I wanted to change that and view, for instance, our expenses, you'll see with the click of a button and a quick refresh, all of that data has been pulled through automatically. Our key performance indicators here are shown as a lot of our different standard out-of-the-box indicators, things like sales, payables, expenses, and inventory. We can have those headlined for easy visibility. We can also have comparatives too. So for instance, with our sales, we can view this month versus last month, what were our current and previous amounts, and is that a positive increase on our sales, or perhaps a negative increase on our payables indicated with the color coding. Again, all hyperlinked, so we can actually drill into the report that relates to and see the data that actually makes up that figure. We can also have things like trend graphs. Here we have our monthly receivables trend. We can change that. We can view it weekly. We can view it quarterly, yearly, etc. We can also remove, change, and download these portlets too. So for instance, if I was going on to a meeting where I had to present this to the team, I could download that image, easily export it from the system and put that into maybe a PowerPoint presentation. What we can also do with the reports is we can have those emailed out, or we can have them scheduled, emailed as well. So if you've got your Friday meeting with the team, we can have that emailed out, that specific report to everyone, and you all have that up-to-date relevant information going into that meeting. Again, just to take you through a few more of these, but if you want to get in touch for a more tailored demonstration, reach out and we'll get a demonstration where we can go through this in more depth. We have things like your top 10 customers by sales. We have incoming and outgoing future cash outlay portlet in the middle here. Monthly sales trends, we can have that on the side. We can have it more expanded in the middle, etc., etc. And our financials overview here as well. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the possibilities with NetSuite from an out-of-the-box solution. So all of this in which I'm showing you today is out of the box. We've not had to configure any of this or set it up differently. This is what you would expect. Jumping into one report quickly is our profit and loss. So NetSuite allows you to have a streamlined chart of accounts by allowing you to classify on the transaction level with a number of different classifications or dimensions, as you might call them. So what we can see here in our classic P&L is we have the ability to view these reports under different contexts. So we can change if we want to view different periods, quarters, years. We have a lot of different pre-built selectors for that, or we can put in custom date ranges here. If you're a multi-subsidiary organisation, we can view consolidated reporting. We can view reporting per subsidiary. And if you have subsidiaries which deal in different foreign exchange rates, then we can roll that reporting up into the base currency of your consolidated entity there as well. Along in the column, this is where we can start to see how we can tag transactions and slice and dice our reporting much more dynamically without having to have a long, complex chart of accounts. If we look at an example being department by hierarchy, we can see now how we're able to split out that P&L, keeping our total column on the far right here, but splitting that out into each of our departments or cost centres. We can also have hierarchies there, so if we were to have parent and child relationships, then you would be able to see that with your subtotals as well. Now, just before we round out the demonstration portion of this, I just want to show you the drill down capabilities of these reports. So we are able to click into these figures, and from the P&L we can see our detailed now. Now all I've done is clicked into this sales nominal. We can see all of the different transactions that we have here. So we've got things like journals, cash sales, invoices, etc. And from the home dashboard in 1, 2, 3 clicks, we can actually get down to the transaction level. Now what this is doing is I'm opening up an invoice here. It'll take a wee second as I'm sharing my screen, but it's going to pull through all of that invoice data for us. We can see the invoice number, we can see the supplier that we've bought that from, or the customer rather, sorry. We can see the status is paid in full and all of the related information for that, right down to the item line level there as well, quantities, rates, etc. pulling through. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how NetSuite can kind of work for you, very much out of the box reporting capabilities, but the ability to be flexible with those transactions, keeping that nice streamlined chart of accounts, and being able to have much more dynamic reporting capabilities. So what we'll do now is we'll just jump back into our slides and pick up where we left off. So a little bit about Eureka Solutions and why you might want to engage with us on a starter NetSuite implementation. So our partnership with NetSuite spans back to 2012. So we've had a long-standing relationship with them, and we've done many end-to-end NetSuite project deliveries. The last point there, you'll see that we've done over 120 end-to-end projects. In our maiden year in 2012, we gained the EMEA New Partner of the Year award. We've then since gained, 5-star partner awards from its introduction in 2021. We gained Best Performing Partner in 2021. And what happened after that was that they changed this to Expertise in ERP accreditation. So within Eureka Solutions, we have so many accredited consultants, support reps, and we ensure that we are up to speed with everything that's happening, all the new releases with NetSuite. And since 2022, we have upheld that accreditation. We're very much built on 2 founding principles, being customer service and technical expertise. Everyone here in Eureka has some level of technical expertise. It's very, very important to us that from sales to implementation, support, development, etc., that everyone understands your requirements and that we have the technical capabilities to deliver that excellent customer service. Why Eureka Solutions? So not just with NetSuite, but we have over 20 years of experience in the ERP and accounting software space. We are also a partner with Sage 200, another ERP solution, iPlicit, and we have a lot of experience in helping organisations like yours with implementations. We have over 75 expert team members from our implementation, support, development teams. We have over 350 successful ERP implementations across all solutions, and we have a 97% customer satisfaction rating. So after every support case is closed with Eureka, we ask our customers to fill out a quick survey telling us about their experience, and we're very proud to say that we've got 97% customer satisfaction across over 8,000 customer reviews. You can also view all of those on our website. So if you head over to our Eureka Solutions website, you can actually see all of those live that are published there on the website. It's all well and good me saying that Eureka Solutions are fab, but you'll want to hear from our customers as well, people that have been through the process with us and that are using NetSuite successfully. So you'll find this case study on our website, but this is from one of our Glasgow-based or London-based, but they have locations all over the UK. This is Flight Club. So they faced a lot of challenges with multiple retail locations. They were trying to maintain accurate inventory and financial reporting, but due to the fast nature of the organisation, they were finding that very difficult on their current system. Some of the key results for them was they saw 40% improvement in operational efficiency through the automated workflows, the real-time inventory across those locations. There was a 25% reduction in operational costs by eliminating those redundant systems that they were using and streamlining their financial processes. And a 95% user adoption rate within 60 days. And the feedback from Flight Club, which was great to hear, was that not only was it due to the intuitive interface of NetSuite and their users' willingness to adopt the system, but also the comprehensive training that Eureka Solutions provided, ensuring that they were equipped to use their system from day one. Again here, just a few relevant logos, very much a snapshot of our customers. We have a lot of NetSuite customers, and a quote from the Director of Finance from Connect here, just saying with their experience with NetSuite, how it exceeded their expectations, being a single data point in a unified system, that it really did become a kind of one-stop shop for them, and also a bit of commendation there for Eureka Solutions around our support and how we were able to actually implement NetSuite as a platform for growth. Just a quick mention of our Besyncly. So as well as dealing with your implementation, we are also an integration specialist, and we have our own in-house developed tool called Besyncly. It's a cloud-based integration tool, making it very easy for us to integrate with multiple systems via things like API, flat files, CSV, etc. We can provide an automated transfer of data between disparate systems. So even when you're on a system like NetSuite, you may still find that you need to integrate with things like additional CRMs, e-commerce platforms, etc. And we can ensure that all of that data is transferred seamlessly between those systems. As I mentioned, it's completely developed and supported by ourselves. We have hundreds of connectors for NetSuite for various third-party systems. Some of the popular ones are things like Salesforce and Shopify. Because it's our own application, it's completely customizable and extendable as well. So as your requirement for that grows, we can adapt that integration to work for you. So if you have things like Shopify, Magento, other CRMs that your users really like and don't want to lose, then rest assured that with the API functionalities with NetSuite, we will be able to integrate those to NetSuite for you. Okay, so I just want to thank you very much for your time, for joining the webinar today. Hopefully it's been insightful for you. If you haven't seen NetSuite before as well, you got a little glimpse at the application. I would very much implore you, if you saw anything today that you want to explore further, either to get in touch with myself, Rory.Munro at eurekasolutions.co.uk on the screen, or by all means phone or reach out to us at sales@eurekasolutions.co.uk. We're more than happy to have an initial conversation with you about it, understand a little bit about your requirements, and should you wish for one, we can give you a tailored demonstration based on what you want to see in the system. And if you find that your business aligns more to the products or services editions of NetSuite or social impact, then let us know, and we can ensure to show you a demonstration of the functionality that comes with those editions. So thank you very much for your time.